Okay, so what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I was not gonna make this video. I was just gonna watch the Bobby Brown movie, mini series, whatever it is. Enjoy it with my Twitter folk. Go to bed. Wake up. Do it the next day. Y'all, did any of y'all read Bobby's book? I really want to read this book now because a lot of this stuff in this movie couldn't have possibly happened. I think I'm not gonna recap the movie. I'm not gonna recap it. All I would say, I'll give out the key points that stood out to me. All right. So the one thing that I noticed is that Bobby has seen a lot of loss in his life. I think Bobby got a root on him. And I'm not even being funny. Like, seeing all that death, and we're just in part one, seeing all that death is unfucking natural. I think somebody put a root on Bobby Brown when he was younger, and death just fucking follows him. Because this is crazy. He experienced, in the beginning of the scene, I don't know who died. He said the person was his biggest fan. I don't know who died. He went to the funeral that day and he was talking to one of his good friends and his friend got murdered right in front of him. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know if Bobby has ever had diseases. I have to imagine that Bobby had all of the diseases because Bobby was fucking everything. Bobby was having threesomes, twosomes, foursomes, fivesomes on BET. How could BET show this? And I'm not saying, I'm not hating or nothing, but when did BET be? I didn't watch BET in a long time. Like, Bobby was like having sex with multiple people. Okay. So you saw Bobby was a young father. We already knew that from the New Edition movie. But Bobby was just out here just having babies. He even had a baby with one of his baby moms, Kim. She was played by the young lady that played Tasha Skanks on Greenleaf. You know I don't like her. But yeah, she played one of his baby mamas. She had a kid with him. He had a kid with somebody else. Bobby was out here just fucking. And it came up to the point with him and Janet. Now, I'm like everybody. I am almost 40 years old. I'm 38 years old. A lot of this stuff happened when I was probably like 5 or 6. So I wouldn't know any of this shit. I had no clue that Bobby and fucking Janet used to date. I had no clue. And no, let me not say date. They didn't date. Bobby was her side piece. She was getting married to James DeBarge. Bobby wanted to be the main man in Janet's life. And Janet was like, no. First of all, you too hood. You from the projects. And he mentioned, is it because I'm dark skinned? You know all the Jacksons. All the Jacksons like their variety of people lighter than them. So that could have been the case. Bobby was a little too dark for Janet. Janet couldn't bring somebody dark as his ass at home. I don't really know. But Bobby came to her house and he brought her a new car. This is when his albums were selling. He was working with Teddy Riley. He was working with Babyface and L.A. Reid. Bobby was becoming a top performer. Bobby was fucking with Janet. Bobby showed up to her house with a car. And Janet, you saw the fear of God in Janet's eyes. So I don't know if it was Papa Joe she was afraid of that would see Bobby there. Janet was so afraid, and she told him to go. Then they show a scene, the next scene, about, she said she was going to make it up to him. I cannot look at Janet Jackson again. If this is true, the next scene, if you ain't watched it, Bobby fucked the shit out of Janet Jackson. It was so visual. It was so I cannot see Janet. I cannot look at her again. I cannot look at her in the same light because I'm like, oh my God. And one of my friends on Facebook, Brian. He said he believes that Bobby and Janet did anal and all that. You know what? They probably did. I don't know. Janet said she like it nasty. I don't really know, but that scene was a lot, and I was like, I really didn't know that Bobby dated Janet Jackson. I really didn't know that. And apparently they cut the scene because apparently, in the scene, Bobby was asking her why doesn't she want to be with him. And I think Bobby loved control and he loved to know that women just fawn over him because his ego was that big. But Janet didn't want Bobby other than fucking him. She had a man. She was getting married to James. So, he asked her, like, why don't you want to be with me? Is it because I'm dark skinned? Is it because I'm from the hood? What is it? I'm a top selling artist. Like, why don't you want me? And she basically just like, you know what this is. This is us, but I got a situation over there. And apparently Bobby, in the book, Bobby threw Janet out of the hotel room naked. They didn't show that. Bobby said on Twitter, he said that they cut that scene. So I'm wondering if Janet can sue him. Because listen, if you did not watch this, I think you need to watch this. And part 2 is coming on. I'm recording this on, what's today? I'm recording this on Tuesday. I'm probably going to post it on Wednesday. So part 2 is coming on tonight, Wednesday night. Part 2 is going to be worse because part 2 is where the remainder of the death happens and the bad times is going to happen. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But anyways, so Bobby and Janet stopped fucking with each other. And that's when he met Whitney. And from what I got from this is that if Janet decided to be with Bobby, he would have never got with Whitney. I think he got with Whitney because Whitney fed his ego the way Janet never did. And I think if Janet gave him the ego boost that he needed, he would have never looked at Whitney. He just looked at Whitney because Janet didn't want him. That's what I got from the movie. But they started seeing each other. Everything was cool. They showed a lot of performances. But yeah, Whitney was out there, y'all. Whitney was out there more from the movie. Whitney was out there more than Bobby, to be honest with you. And it didn't help that Robin, which we all know was her alleged lover, Robin was always around. And I know Bobby knew that Robin was fucking her. I know he knew this, but I think because it was Whitney, he didn't put his foot down. There was a scene where he put his foot down, but he never really put his foot down. I think he questioned a lot why she was around, but he never had that conversation with Whitney. But apparently Whitney, they had been together for 3 years. They still hadn't gotten engaged or anything like that. Bobby has kids, still fucking baby mamas. He got Tasha Skanks pregnant again. Her name is Kim on here. He got her pregnant again. Whitney was pregnant as well. They were engaged at this point. He had just come from fucking Kim. Whitney picked him up from the airport and he proposed to her. I think because he felt guilty that he fucked his baby mom, he proposed to Whitney. Whitney got pregnant. Come to find out, Kim is pregnant. He didn't know Kim was pregnant. So 2 women pregnant at the same time, he's engaged to Whitney. On the set of The Bodyguard, Whitney had a miscarriage and she lost the first baby, which was, I can't even imagine. I've never been pregnant. I can't even imagine losing a child, but she did lose a child. So Whitney and Bobby, the date of their wedding. First of all, Bobby was nervous. He was scared. He locked himself in the bathroom. His brother, Tommy, was trying to get him to come out. Bobby wouldn't come out. He wouldn't answer. He wouldn't do nothing. There was this lady that came up. Now, this lady was Teddy Riley's girlfriend. I don't know, girlfriend, wife, I don't know. But she was Teddy Riley's girlfriend. So she was always around Bobby because Teddy worked on music for Bobby. So she came up, said, knocked on the door, said she'll talk to him. She went in there. She gave him a pep talk. He went and went to Whitney's room because Alicia is Teddy Riley's woman's name. She said that Whitney's probably as nervous as he is. So he went to see Whitney. Go into the room. Whitney's snorting. She's snorting. Just snorting. And I think that... I know. That was when he found out that Whitney did drugs. All this time, I don't think he knew. Whitney said, I do coke sometimes. It was just a casual thing back in the 80s. I do coke sometimes. What's wrong with a little coke? But Bobby also had a drug history as well, because you remember in New Edition movie, he was doing coke also. So I think that's when he kind of like... Before, I think it was more like, oh my God, this is Whitney Houston. She's this big star, this yada, yada, yada. He felt kind of lower than her. But then when he found out that she was doing coke, they had that in common. And I think he realized, well, shit, we just alike. So I think that's when the coke shit took over. But they got married, everything like that. Bobby put all his money in Whitney's name. Why the fuck would you do that? But Bobby did that. Whitney found out she was pregnant with Bobby Christina. She looked high as hell too. But yeah, it was just it was a lot of Whitney being high. It was a lot of Whitney being high. And I was like, this is a lot. This is just a mirror. This is a lot. So, what else of significance? Bobby's parents. First of all, you know what I loved? I love that a lot of the people that was in the New Edition movie reprised their role in the Bobby movie. It made it more authentic, made it more believable. The lady that played Bobby's mom played in this. Now, she is just one angry fucking woman. And she is just one angry woman. And I understand black mamas sometimes are, a lot of the times, black mamas are hard because they gotta be. But she was just too hard. And then TK Carter, from back in the day, he used to be on Saved by the Bell, which was one of my favorite shows. He played Bobby's dad. Now my question is, where was he in the New Edition movie? Because he was not there. We thought Bobby's father was not around, but Bobby's father was present. So was he in jail when he was a little younger? So where did he come from? I kind of want to know that. But yeah, so Bobby bought his family a house. Bobby was getting high. Whitney was getting high. All they did was, this was the days when they were always in the mansion, never came out, in there for days. They had they drugged in, allegedly, say that. And Bobby wasn't paying his bills. And the house that he bought for his parents in Atlanta, here in Atlanta, was going up for foreclosure. They had to, they were getting evicted if they didn't pay. Bobby wasn't paying. So the mama got upset with his brother Tommy because Tommy was his manager. But Tommy was like, he's a grown-ass man. He's doing coke. Like, him and Whitney are just blowing their fucking brains out doing drugs. What can I do? And the mom got upset with him saying you were supposed to watch him. This is the problem I have. There's a history of black mothers blaming the issues of their kids on another sibling or somebody else in the family. I don't understand why. Bobby's a grown fucking man. And I understand Tommy's his older brother, but Bobby's a grown fucking wealthy man. Bobby does what Bobby want to do. I don't know why you're blaming him. And she cussed Tommy out because Bobby was on drugs. No. Black mothers always have to defend the ones that are on the fucked up path. And I don't understand that. And that's exactly what she did. Whatever happened, whatever shit Bobby did, she always defended him. And I'm like, this is why people have these issues within their family, because the parents are always the one caping for the in shit nigga. And I don't understand that. And that's what she was doing. She blamed him and said Bobby needs to pay for this house because they didn't want to go back to Boston. Bobby didn't give a fuck. At the house, Bobby was there. He made his cracked chicken. Explain the cracked chicken. Bobby made chicken for Whitney. And he fried it in crack. It was powder. Which one is powder? Coke. I don't know my drugs. He fried it in Coke dough and fried it, and Whitney ate it and they loved it, and they did the mouth teeth thing. Coke. So he's in the room and Robin is eating his plate of chicken, and Bobby like, what the fuck you doing here? They were in the bedroom and Robin is right there. And him and Robin got into an argument, and Bobby said, "Get the hell out of my house." And she looked at Whitney like, "You gonna let him talk to me like that?" And Whitney said shit, and Robin left. Robin has always been Whitney's special friend. Bobby admitted in his book that Whitney was bisexual, and because of her family, you know, Sissy ain't shit. Because of her family, Whitney could not be bisexual. She couldn't be a lesbian. She couldn't do any of that because Whitney stemmed from the church, and her mama was who she was, and she couldn't do what she wanted to do. So Whitney always kept Robin around. How many men she with, whatever, Robin was still there. Robin always there. So Robin left that night. That's when his brother came in, and they went into the man cave. Bobby sat there, talked to his brother, and snorted 4 lines of coke and did not die. I thought Bobby was gonna OD. I thought they were gonna find him dead in his man cave. I thought Bobby, even though I know they weren't gonna find him dead, but I thought he was gonna OD or something. Bobby snorted 4 lines and was coherent like ain't shit happened. And I'm like, damn nigga, how much coke do you do? You have to be a real cokehead to do some shit like that and not be affected by it at all. So we saw Sweaty Whitney. Sweaty Whitney was majority on screen. That's Sweaty Whitney. And the girl that played Whitney, she played on the game. What was her name on the game? She was the one who was messing with Derwin and got pregnant. Something with a J, her name was. But anyway, she was Whitney, and she's really doing a good job. She gives me Whitney tease. She even sounded like her. So Bobby, next significant part. It ended at 11:30. The next significant part, Bobby was with his sister's fiance, who Lance Gross played the fiance, and they were in the club. And they showed a little bit of this in the indie movie, but they really went in depth with this one. They were in the club, and there were some niggas that was looking at them. And Lance kind of saw what was going on, but didn't say anything to Bobby. They were leaving the club. Bobby got into the passenger seat. Lance got into the driver's seat. Lance saw the car in the corner in the dark. So, you know, it was a drive-by about to occur. When they got into the car, Lance gave Bobby a gun and said, "Hold this." The car drove up, shot Lance in the head, shot him probably 3 times. Bobby ducked down. Bobby got out the car. Once the car drove off, Bobby got out the car and started shooting. When, next scene, you see Bobby at the hospital. Lance's body is there. His sister comes up with his parents, and she is just screaming and blaming Bobby because they weren't supposed to be at that club. They were back in Boston, so she blamed him. They weren't supposed to be at that club. And it went off. Today, Bobby Christina's gonna die. Whitney gonna die. His parents die. Well, I'm assuming, yeah, they're gonna show Bobby Chris dying. Bobby Chris, his parents, his mother, his father, I don't know who else, but I honestly think there is a root on this man. I forgot to say, okay, so Teddy Riley's woman, Alicia. How about, I just found out tonight that is Bobby's current wife. So it looks like in the next part of this, Bobby and her started fucking around, probably while he was married. So I don't know if this woman was Teddy Riley's girlfriend or his wife, but he started fucking with his friend's woman, and that's his current wife. So she waited in the wings all this time until Whitney died to give her Bobby, I guess. That's his current wife. I was like, Bobby, I gotta get this book. Y'all. I might do part 2 tomorrow, depending on how it is. Greenleaf might have to take a back seat, because I gotta watch part 2 of this. The Jenna thing shot me, but this was a very vivid little mini-series here. Very vivid. BET, when y'all coming through with the biographies, biopics, y'all know what the fuck y'all doing, because this is a lot. We have not seen any of the members of New Edition other than Ralph earlier in the scenes, but other than that, it was really riveting. It was good. I probably missed out a lot. I don't really know. I wasn't even gonna do a whatever. I'm just pointing out some scenes, some shocking moments that I had, but this was a lot. So y'all check out part 1, and part 2 is coming out tonight, so check out part 2. I might come back and talk about part 2. Anyway, y'all, if y'all watched it, let me know what y'all think. What was the most shocking moment? It had to have been the Janet thing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What was the shocking moment for you? Do you think Bobby got a root on him? I think somebody worked something on Bobby Brown. And I'm not even being funny. Bobby has experienced so much tragedy, so much death, so much destruction in his life. Nobody can tell me that somebody ain't worked shit on Bobby. Bobby has some voodoo, some obia, some santeria, some whatever else, a curse, a hex, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Bobby got some shit on him. He needs to go to the Caribbean, wash his ass off in the sea salt, drain that shit off of him, wash that shit off of him, because Bobby got some shit on him that he needs to get off. It was a lot. But anyway, guys, I'll be back probably tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow if I can muster up the courage to do this, because the Whitney dying thing is going to be a lot for me. But let me know if you have any questions. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like this video. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.